Welcome back to the channel for a long overdue album review. Today we're going to be reviewing and discussing the new album from Fans of the Dark called Video. Now, this came out in October of 2024, and it will also serve as my melodic rock album of the year for 2024, with all due respect to some great releases from Find Me and Lionville and many others. Fans of the Dark was just one notch above the rest for me, and it's pretty much been this way since they started with their first album back in 2021. I just think this band out of Sweden is phenomenal. And they are a band through and through. That's what they sound like to me. They don't sound like a studio creation where they got people into the music lab and kind of created this or that. They sound cohesive. They write all their own stuff. And you can tell. No one really sounds like them as far as I'm concerned. So let's get right into it. This third album for Fans of the Dark is probably even more straight up melodic rock than their first two albums. There are actually 10 songs, which if you know them well, their first two albums had 8 songs apiece, in part due to the fact that some of their songs on those albums were 8 minutes, thereabouts, a few of them at least, so it lengthened the album in that way. Although many of their songs have different layers to them, so it's almost like an 8-minute song is worth 2 or 3 songs because of the shifts in tempo throughout. But here they're more straight up with 10 songs. There are more keyboards highlighted in this album than the first two. And let's just get right to it and go through it track by track. If you've heard this album already, you probably know what I'm talking about, and that these songs very much are in the spirit of 80s melodic rock. Fans of the Dark traditionally have been a band that will reference horror movies or literature in a lot of their writing and a lot of their tracks. They do that on a few occasions here, it seems like, but not quite as much as they normally do. It's not a bad thing, it's just a little bit different. So the first song, Meet Me on the Corner, is just a straight up feel-good song, very melodic, very catchy. It was the second single released from the album. Great way to start off things for them. The second song is called Let's Go Rent a Video. That was the first single released. Another uplifting, feel-good song. Just the keyboard intro, it just kind of sets the tone. It's catchy as heck. There's an awesome melodic guitar solo that just fits the song perfectly. The video's funny. It's very old school. It looks very low budget, kind of early MTV. I think that's exactly what they were shooting for. But a fantastic song. This one will stay in your head in a good way for a long time. Certainly worthy of Song of the Year consideration. The third track is called The Neon Phantom. Now this one definitely is a little different than the first two. It's faster, it's a little bit harder. Some fantastic guitar work here. Nice guitar solo, more power keys. Now, Neon Phantom, what are they referencing here? Well, the only Neon Phantom I know is from Scooby-Doo. So you'd have to ask them if that's what they're going after here, but it's a great song nonetheless. The fourth song, called Christine, you might think it was Stephen King, Christine, right, the novel, and later the movie. I don't know if that's really what they're going for here, but this song is incredible. I mean, you know, in the first 5 or 10 seconds, just the moodiness of the beginning, Alex Falk's vocals come in, and you know it's going to be just fantastic. Then power guitars, power keyboards, moody verses, a great chorus. And the guitar solo in this song, not their most technically difficult, I'm sure they would say, but just the melodic nature of it, the way it just builds up, it fits the song perfectly. It's really kind of a standout song to me, off of an album that has all standout songs. But this song is incredible, one of my favorites as I'm getting to know this album over these first couple of months. So track 4 is just incredible that way. The 5th song, another kind of change of pace. It's called The Wall, which doesn't necessarily reference a horror movie or horror novel, but it references the Berlin Wall and the wall coming down in the 80s. This is the 3rd single released. And it's clearly what the theme is when you watch the video. This song is a little bit more like Rainbow or 10, if you're familiar with that band. It's faster, but it's very melodic. Another great guitar solo, great keyboards, great everything, as usual for them. The 6th track is called Find Your Love. And when you listen to the beginning of this song, you feel like they kidnapped Jim Peterick from Survivor and just had him, help out with the keys. It sounds very Survivor-like. And then just great guitar. It's melodic as heck. Nice verses, great solo. They don't pack it in on any of these songs where, they just, I think they clearly put a lot of thought into every aspect of every song. That's why these songs are so great. There's no filler on their albums. There's definitely no filler on this one. The 7th song has been kind of a personal favorite of mine since I got the album back in October. It's called In the Bay of Blood, which I'm sure references the horror movie in the early 70s by that same name. Keyboards again. When the guitar kind of kicks in, it sounds, not that they sound like any other band, but if you like Nitrate, if you like White Widow, who needs to come back and make another album, it's been too long. That's kind of the vibe you get a little bit with this one. Just another great verses again, awesome pre-chorus, catchy as heck chorus. The guitar solo is great. Definitely a Fans of the Dark type of song. Melodic, a little bit harder at times. So yeah, if I had to pick one song, I guess it would be this one that I am enjoying the most, but ask me in a week and it'll be something different. It might be the next song. Tomorrow is Another Day, which is the 8th track. Very different type of song for Fans of the Dark. They haven't done anything quite like this as far as I'm concerned off the first 3 albums. This one, there aren't that many lyrics. Definitely more kind of keyboard driven, slower, just a nice change of pace towards the end of the album before things change yet again. So just another piece of proof that Fans of the Dark can kind of go outside, kind of their normal zone and be very successful. So kind of a neat song for them to include on this album. The 9th song is called The Dagger of Tunis. Speeds things up again, a little bit harder, great chorus. It does slow down, much like some of the longer songs off the first 2 albums. This one kind of does something similar where it does slow down a little bit. You feel like you're in a different song for a while, and then it comes back and it just picks right up. So kind of classic Fans of the Dark, if you could call it that. I know it's only been 3 albums, but this one definitely has a Fans of the Dark sound. And they do, I think, have a unique sound, even though they're doing melodic rock that we all love from, kind of 80s style. The songs do not sound the same when you're in the middle. If you were just to drop into the middle of one of their songs, you would know what song it is. It's not like they all sound the same. They're very unique, but they're very respectful to that 80s melodic rock sound. And finally, the 10th song called Savage Streets, which I'm guessing also references another movie by that same name. This song's a little bit different. It's a little slower. It's very tough and heavier. It reminds me a little bit, not necessarily the theme of the song, but in style, just in spirit, the last song on Survivor's 2 Out to Sleep album called Burning Bridges. it just gives me a little bit of flavor of that. But same thing where there's awesome verses, pre-chorus, chorus, guitar work. What can I say? I mean, every song pretty much in their whole catalog could be explained that way. They're just unique, yet they do justice to this type of music. There's no filler. I can't think of a mediocre Fans of the Dark song. They came out with an EP a couple years ago with 4 cover songs from Rush and REO Speedwagon and Blue Oyster Cult. Those songs, they've kind of put their own spin on them, but those songs are incredible. And Balance as well, In for the Count. So they picked 4 unique songs off of that one, and they still made it their own, so to speak. So for this album, 10 out of 10. Fans of the Dark has done it again. This is definitely my favorite band of the last several years, probably more than that. I wish they would come to the USA so we could see them in concert. But they are playing that Frontiers Festival in Italy next year. So who knows, maybe I'll make a trip out to see them and several other great acts that are slated for those 3 days. So if you haven't heard it, take a listen to Fans of the Dark. Video is the name of the new album. If you have heard it, you probably know what I'm talking about. So thank you for listening, and until next time, take care.